the real estate game is a gold mine, man. Like you could really find great deals for like, 20, 30, 40 grand, man, and just like full houses that's really nice that might need 15, 20 grand worth of work. But you got to think, if you buy a house for 25, and even if it needs 20, you have a full livable house for 45 grand, bro. Yeah. And something like that, you'll never lose money on. It don't matter what if the recession dry, it don't matter what happens. You're never going to lose money on a house that you're all in for 45,000 because it's going to appraise minimum 60 grand, bro. Like that's like the minimum appraisal for a Detroit house. You're never going to get a house really appraised for less than that. That's updated.
What's going on, you guys? Charles Oglesby here, also known as Todd, Millionaire, founder and director of the Todd Capital Investment Club, also 4-year podcaster. You guys all know who I am, created the best-selling options course, also created the best-selling freedom pack that consists of everything that you need to start from where you are and obtain financial freedom in less than a year. I believe that you can do it. If you take the things that we put in this freedom pack, you can accomplish those goals. So click the link in the bio. Check us out. Support what we have going on. We do nothing if it does not add value to you. So best believe that whatever you invest in us, you're going to get 10 times that return back. My name is Charles Oglesby. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, rate and review our podcast. Leave a comment, leave us some feedback. We love to see it. We love to read it, and we respond to all comments. So check out the episode.
Yeah, we're in Detroit for the Millionaire Talk Show with some Detroit millionaires, some people who are moving and shaking in Detroit, doing some really cool things. I've seen this brother and his whole career kind of evolve. And it happened just from me calling on a deal. He had a house for sale. It was a dope rehab, and I hit him up, and I was just asking him questions about the deal that he was doing, and he gave me a ton of game. Ended up selling me a house that we still own to this day, and he actually moved from doing the buying and flipping to just strictly wholesaling. So I kind of want to talk about that. He might be doing some flipping too that I don't know about, but most of what I've seen is just mostly been flipping. But yeah, he's here with his partner, and so we're going to bring her in too a little bit later, but you guys are definitely in for a treat. So welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Goes by Linwood P. Franklin.
Antoine. Franklin Holdings.
Yeah. So
yeah.
The question we always ask everybody is, what was life like growing up?
Growing up, it was good for me.
Born and raised in Detroit?
Born and raised in Detroit, West Side, Linwood and Dre Road, the streets. It was like my childhood was, for me, great. Single parent raised, mom only, never met my dad. It was 3 of us. She did a terrific job, in my opinion. We didn't want for anything. Mm-hmm. We had everything we wanted. I went to private high school. Went to college 2 years. I think, she did a tremendous job, and I love where I'm from, Yeah. It's good, man.
A lot of people who are from Detroit love Detroit. Yeah. Like, they really love Detroit.
Yeah.
What's the pull of Detroit?
Man, we just got this, this mentality about us, man, like a go-getter mentality. Like, we can't lose. We always fighting. We definitely going to find a way to figure it out. Definitely going to find a way to win in the end. And we just, we gamers, man. We hustlers. We just get to it. That's the best way I can explain it.
So if you could kind of tell people a little bit of the overview of who you are, mm-hmm. What would that sound like?
Outside real estate or just overall?
No, just like your professional career.
Professional?
Yeah. Because, I thought you were just a wholesaler, but it looks like you do some flipping. But I thought you were a wholesaler.
Right.
But it seems like you do a lot more other things in real estate.
Right. Well, I started doing real estate full-time in 2018.
Okay.
I started wholesaling full-time. Like, when January 1st came, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do wholesaling. I'm just going to knock this out. I came into the game discovering that, because I already was in real estate, but I wasn't wholesaling.
Okay.
I got in real estate in 2016. Had a few bucks laying around, me and my friends. bought like houses, like let's say $6,000, $3,000 from you, $3,000 from me. We buy it for 6, sell it like for 10 in like a week or two. So we did that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So once we was doing that, we kept getting demand from people buying our houses. Like, hey, you guys got more houses, you got more houses. And we're like, whoa, like we gotta, recoup, and it takes cash. So me, tech guy, Googling, found out about wholesaling where I could
do the same thing
sell a
without
house
putting your money up.
without owning it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, this is like I'm a hustler. So it's the same thing as like, hey, you sell some weed, middleman, somebody to sell weed, somebody to buy weed. I'm like, if I could put that together, I could do the same thing with housing. Fast forward 2018, dived in full-time wholesaling. And so when I first started, the Detroit market, I seen what people were doing. I'm like, okay, these people not killing it. They're not, it's so much opportunity. I'm like, it's so much room to make money and get a name for yourself. I'm like, I'm gonna kill it. I ended up meeting my partner, Jennifer, in September 2018.
So you guys have been rocking for a while then.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like once I met her, like her strength was like marketing and having sellers.
Yeah.
And my strength was buyers and people want to buy.
Yeah.
So she basically had all these houses she couldn't sell, and I basically had all these buyers but no houses.
Yeah.
So it was like a match made. So 2019, I think we sold like 80 houses.
Right.
2020, I think we sold like 100. Last year we probably was at like another 70 or 80. But I mean, right now it's water flow, bro. It's second nature. Like wholesaling is like, I really think we're the best at it in Detroit. Like my goal was just to make money, of course, and establish relationships and, and make money with other wholesalers. I personally think I probably did more deals with other wholesalers in Detroit than any other wholesaler.
What do you think makes you guys so good at what you do?
Consistency, hustle, man. Like she's just a savage on like the marketing side and finding ways to find these houses, man. Like, whether it's, people always ask us, how do y'all find so many deals? Like, do you guys bandit size, direct marketing? You guys have virtual assistants? Truth be told, man, in our 3 or 4 years of doing it, we've probably had one cold caller. Everything we do is me and her. We do virtually everything. Like, we don't only marketing fees. We do direct mail sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, but that's it.
But the volume you guys are doing.
The team is just really just me and her, and we have one guy who's out of state that calls for us. But it's really no overhead. So when I say we could, and our thing was volume. So we figure like, hey, we could get a house somebody wants $20,000 for. We could sell it for, even if it's, let's say, $24,000. We make $4,000, $2,000 each. We try to do that like 20 times a month.
Yeah.
So whether the profit is $2,000 or $40,000, like we're on it, So
that was one of the things that I noticed about you when we first, like when I first saw what you were doing, is it was a quality house for a good price.
Right.
And if you price it well, it flies off the shelf.
Exactly.
And it sounds like that's kind of your business model.
Yeah. See, we just basically, like you say, a good deal sells itself. I think a lot of, whether wholesaler, realtor, if you're trying to sell anything, a good deal is going to sell itself. Yeah. Car, house, shoes, jacket, whatever. So we figure like, as long as we have a good product, in this case, a house that's priced accordingly, it's going to sell. Yeah. Like, that's our thing. Let's just move it. So that's how we operate.
To what extent do you think that you guys benefit from male and female working together? Because I think a lot of times the partnership is like 2 dudes or maybe 2 girls. And I think that the problem, well, I wouldn't say the problem with, the issue with that is you have too much of the same. So you don't really even need the partner, honestly, if you're doing the same thing.
Got you. Yeah. I mean, like I say, her strength is the marketing and selling side. My strength is the buyer side. But where the opposite sex really benefits, I would say most times where if a seller is a guy, then she most likely is better to send her to do the dirty work.
Right.
If the seller is a female, I'll go and do the dirty work.
Because if it's a woman, they might be kind of combative. Like, I'm not going to sell you my house.
Right. So I think that works in our favor a lot because we know how to talk to people where, and at the end of the day, we're realists too. You know, we let, and we're upfront. I think that's why we're successful a lot of times too, because like if you're selling a home, hey, you want 30 grand and it's a piece of crap. I say, Charles, there's no way you're gonna get 30 grand. I can maybe get you 15, brother. You say yes or no. I keep it moving. You know, like we just get straight to the point. In this game, it's no point of wasting, you know, anybody's time. So I think that's, you know, it helps.
So speaking of pricing, because Detroit pricing is so, I feel like it's confusing. it's block by block. You're saying this house is worth however much money.
Absolutely.
How do you determine the value of a property out here when sometimes there aren't any comps? I mean, they're starting to become comps now. Before, when I first started out here, there weren't any rehab comps. It was all as-is stuff, and you had stuff that was falling over. How are you guys determining what that house is worth?
For us, we have a lot of realtor friends that's licensed realtors. Neither one of us are licensed. So comps, see, the game we're in with the wholesaling, comps probably matter 20-30% of the time.
Really?
Yeah. See, most people don't care about the comps because people coming to us, they need that cash.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, you could have a house that, let's say comp, let's say a comp at 100.
Right.
But the condition it's in, it might need 40 grand to comp at the 100. So let's say that's 60. Hey man, we got 35 for you. And you might be like, hey, I need it. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
So,
right.
in our, like I say, in our game, the comps is not as important. But to answer your question, how do we comp it? We just ask the realtor friend. You know, they'll pull up something in the radius, you know, like a half-mile radius, comparable square footage, bedroom, you know, bathroom size. Yeah.
But it seemed like, I want to say in 2019, you guys were setting the comps. Or maybe it was 2019 because right before COVID, and the numbers are just insane. Yeah. It went from where, like, you could get a house for 10, 20 grand to now you guys are wanting like 50, 60. Like, I think is high numbers in Detroit. Right. Are you guys also kind of doing that where like we say it's worth this, so that's what it's worth?
Nah, we don't. See, the thing is with that, truthfully, like most, like I ain't gonna say most, well, a lot of our sweet spot for houses price range is like 50 grand and under. We could sell, like we've sold an apartment building for $1 million, but our sweet spot is like 50 grand and under. If someone is asking 60,000 for a house, it will have to comp at minimum 100 for us to really, you know, to put it together. So, yeah, I mean, that's just how that goes.
Yeah. In terms of buyers, are you working with the same buyers over and over again? Or are you looking for new buyers?
Always looking for new. But, you know, through us, you know, so many relationships and selling so many houses, we have established relationships with countless people that, this might sound crazy, but they might text me, hey, Antoine, I need 30 houses this month. Yeah. Hey, Antoine, I need 60 houses in 45 days. Can you help me? So we have a lot of those clients. But also let me point this out. When we first started, it was really strictly about let's get this money. As we start being successful and making more money, we also started buying houses ourselves with the money. But we also started catering to more African American buyers with the wholesaling. Because, you know, foreigners buy. You know, we got guys over, whether Argentina, Italy, from, Israel, Spain, Israel, Belgium, you name it. They buy from us. But right now, we try to cater more to people of our culture because we try to keep it in the community as much as possible. Now, it's still a business, though. So we're not going to hold on to a house 90 days hoping that a black person buys it. But, you know, but first come, first serve. But we will prefer, like, I'll shoot it. Hey, Charles, if I know some black people with some money, I'll ask the first, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. But the first 10 pass, then, But, so right now we primarily try to keep it in the community far as the buyers, how it go.
So in terms of like Detroit real estate, because when you guys started, there was still a lot of skepticism about Detroit real estate.
I agree.
Do you think that has changed?
What year we start? 2018? I think it has. Yeah. Cause see, Detroit has always, like, even when we started 2018, Detroit has always been on the rise and come up in certain areas. It's just not the hood. Right. So like the house I sold you, where is that? Like that area has probably been the same since you bought the house.
It has, yeah.
Nothing's changed. It's still like kind of crappy over there,
Right.
but it is what it is. But other areas of Detroit, like downtown, it could be East English, it could be Rosedale Park, Boston, Edison, Midtown. It's so much money that's dumped in specific areas of Detroit. You know, it's just not the hood yet.
Right.
Like it's so many areas, like the house I sold you, that's hasn't been touched in 10 years. Like it's the same torn down house in the same spot. So I do think Detroit has come up real estate wise, but it's still a lot of inner city hoods that still hasn't seen any come up, you know?
Why haven't they been, I guess, invested in?
Great question, man. I feel like my answer to that is that the people with like the real money, like, and I mean like the real money with the millions, who's dumping all this money downtown,
Hedge fund money and
midtown, hedge, all the people, like all the real players, we talking about $100 million guys and up. I just think they don't see any value in the inner city. You know, I think they see all the value. Okay, if I put this 50 million downtown, they're looking at a long term, like downtown Detroit, like where you stand at. Where you came in town, they're staying downtown Detroit. Right. Downtown Detroit is just a hot spot, or a midtown, or you know, other places with just high revenue, or just high activity, or you know, luxury renting and stuff like that. Like the hood, I mean the place where your house is, where I sold you, a guy with 10 million, why would he want to invest there? And he's not from here. So I really think it's up to Detroiters from the hood to bring back the inner city, personally.
Yeah.
You know?
What's interesting is it sounds like it's not about the homes. It's also about like the commerce. And are there businesses there? Are there business owners? Are there safe businesses?
Right.
Because that's what's also going to help that community grow. So if you look at downtown, it's not just the apartments, it's all of the business, the different businesses that came into the city, and also the stores that are here that can function without having to worry about getting robbed.
Exactly.
It's like nobody really wants to. So like I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. And so it's not even just so much like being homeowners; it's also being business owners. And that's going to grow your community.
Right.
That's interesting.
Right.
Man, so you did really, really well. You've been just doing really well across the board. Like, how has life changed now that you're like, like, how do you maintain that hustle? How do you maintain that grind when you're doing, like, you're not grinding at the bottom anymore. You're out of survival mode.
Right. Definitely out of survival mode. I would say just new goals. You know, you have to keep it. You have to be self-motivated. And that's one thing I think that I am. I'm probably always going to be. Unless I get like 100 million or something, I'll probably take a chill. But it's like, you know, most black people, when they start getting money, they starting from the bottom, or starting from the struggle, or starting from middle class, however you want to name it. So, you know, the first thing you start doing, I'm gonna start fixing my credit. I'm gonna start paying some bills off. You know, I'm gonna get me a house. I'm gonna get me a better car. So once you get past let me get all the stuff I need to fix. Once you fix everything, like you might have to get your license. You might have to get, you know, tickets paid, bills paid, whatever you made to do. So once you get about that hole and you basically above ground now you can start, you know, investing money in assets and projects, and you start seeing more opportunity now. Because, you know, when you struggling, all you thinking about, I got to get this bill paid, or I got to get A to B, or I gotta pay the rent. I gotta pay rent. I gotta pay the car note. I gotta
trying not to get evicted.
Yeah. So once you're in the clear or semi-clear, you know, you could see, you know, you could spend your money more. You could spend your money more so it can make money for you. When you don't really have, you know, choices or chances, you have to spend your money to pay bills.
Right.
So when you can spend your money. When you're able to spend your money to make money comfortably, you know, it's a big difference. You know, I would say that.
So what are the things you're investing in right now?
Well, I'm still heavy on real estate. So whether it's, like I say, we have a few homes. So whether it's we have a fix and flip, we're currently, you know, about to sell. We're in closing week for that. Actually got it from the land bank. Really? You know, so anything real estate, Airbnbs. Always looking for real estate and flips, because like real estate is my home, as you could probably tell, but I just feel like you can never go wrong with a house,
Right.
especially deals that we find. So we could find a good deal for 20, 30 grand, hold on to it, and we know it's worth 70 or 80 grand, refi, put the equity out, keep it moving. We get 5 of those, 10 of those, 15 of those. I mean, you can't lose. Like, it's impossible to lose. And then we just want to, hey, we tired. Let's sell all 20 for $1 million. We could do that. Like, but real estate is just endless opportunities. I mean, group homes, Airbnb, rentals, you could get a marijuana license. You could grow out of houses.
Right.
It's so much stuff you could do with a house. But besides a house, looking to get into Turo. So I might take your course. Turo is next. Option trading. Just, opportunities, man. Just some stuff that spikes, interest, and some stuff that generate income,
I would say that it's kind of good to just be in one spot. That's one thing that I'm learning. So I got the semi truck, and I'm like, I'm gonna sell that semi truck. I don't want that semi truck no more.
Yeah.
Because when you step into a different business, it's so much involved in that business that you don't like. You just think it's just getting a check.
Right.
No, like I got like fuel tax. I got permits.
Yeah.
I have all these different things that I have to do when I start getting into the trucking business. But if I just stay where I'm at and just figure out how to do what I'm doing better, make even more money just in that lane. So now you're making money effortlessly. And so I think that's a really good answer, and I like that. What was I going to ask you?
No, what I wanted to piggyback off was what you said as far as standing in your lane. Like with me, us, our whole thing was let's master this.
Right.
Like, it was just, okay, it's more than just, okay, we could, it's probably a handful of people that wholesale across the country in Detroit. But I'm like, we could do something. How we going to separate ourselves?
It seems like everybody in Detroit is wholesaling, though.
Yeah.
It seems like you would have a lot of competition.
But I don't, though. We don't. We don't.
Do you just not pay attention to the people? You're so focused on what you're doing?
Yeah, basically. Like, I don't even, of course, I would be a bold-faced liar if I didn't say I didn't know other I know a lot of wholesalers here in Detroit.
Yeah.
A lot of great ones too. I'm not going to say, there aren't any other people that do what we do. Although, I feel like we're the best at what we do, but feeling the best at something is not downgrading somebody else.
Right.
I'm not saying somebody else shouldn't feel they're the best either.
I think that's a misconception.
Yeah.
Like people, it's like, what am I supposed to think about myself?
Right. Yeah. I don't think nobody could wholesale better than me. Like I say, real estate is the field, but wholesale is my lane. Like, I just feel like I'm the best at wholesaling in the city of Detroit. And for example, Ashley Hamilton, Ashley, you had her. I think she's the best at what she does.
Yeah.
Cause she buy and holds, and she has like 10 homes and rehab and refi. I think she's
like a machine.
Yeah, I think she's the best at what she does in real estate. Like, it's different parts of real estate. It's 10 different things in real estate you can do. So it's people that's the best at some stuff, But yeah, like wholesaling, it's a lot of great wholesalers in Detroit. I would never say we're the only people getting money, because it's a ton of people getting money,
Right.
It's just, I think my name, or like Franklin Holdings, is just known because when I first started, I'm posting every closing deal.
Yeah.
I mean, every deal. I mean, they're like, dog, this dude is closing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm posting every deal on the internet. I'm on Instagram. I'm going out with lunch with people that own title, any title company in Detroit knows me. Anyone. Like, you can't name one that doesn't know me. We closed at virtually every title company.
What's interesting though is it seems like you don't post that it's for sale. You post that you've already sold it. And I'm always like, can I buy this, or like, what's the deal? Hold on, let me check this really quick.
Go ahead. You said I post stuff that's already sold.
Yeah, so it says new sale.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking it's like, is it for sale?
Right. No, new sale means it's for sale. But
okay.
Yeah, new sale. Like, if I post house, like new sale, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 48224. But believe it or not, like, this is how it goes. Like, if I post something on Monday, it's a good deal. Tuesday, we'll have like 8 offers. It'd just be crazy. So by Wednesday or somebody hit me up Thursday, like, hey, it's going, bro. We got to offer it. To, like, it just goes so fast. And also, I'm going to tell you a little secret what I do. Since I'm on the pot, like 90% of the time, if I post something for sale, I already have a buyer in mind. I just posted to kind of see if I could get some higher numbers or get a black buyer or, I might just post it just to let me see what this could bring in. Yeah. Let's say I already have a guy in Argentina who like, Antoine, I want it. But I'm like, damn, I really don't want to sell to the guy in Argentina. Let me post on Instagram to see if I can get somebody black to bite or, But yeah, most of the time, if I post it, it's already going for real. Like real talk.
Yeah. So you still do flipping?
Absolutely. Flipping, like I say, we got in, once we start wholesaling and making enough money, we start buying our own stuff. Yeah. So yeah, flipping, because you have to think, the deals we come across as wholesalers,
they're just no-brainers.
Yeah, because at first,
it would make more sense for you to put the money in because you make more money than wholesaling.
Exactly.
If it's that good.
If it's that good, right? It's just longer. It's just a longer process.
Right.
So at first, when we start out, we didn't have the capital to buy stuff. So we like, damn, we had this, we could have bought this, or we could have. Right. But now we get a good deal for, 25 grand. Like, hey, okay, that's 25 grand. Let's run some comps. Shit, that's worth 90. It only need a good 20. So we all in at 45 and could throw it on the market at 90. Yeah. Why wouldn't we keep it and make? So you have to think, we could spend 45 grand to make 45. Yeah. Or we could wholesale it for 35. So we could either get a free 10,000 or coming out of nothing, or get 45 grand for coming out 45. Yeah. It's options. Yeah.
But you can do that, and it makes sense. And then if it's a deal that may be thinner, then you just
right. Yeah, like a lot of times wholesaling just prevents headaches too.
That's a bar. Wholesaling prevents headaches. What kind of headaches are we talking?
Instead of keeping it, instead of keeping it, man. Like, why take on a house where, like, if we have 2 flips going on, it could be a great deal, but we just don't have the time or the time right now to put, like, you don't want to, what we try to avoid, we don't want to turn a 6-week rehab into a 6-month rehab. So if we don't have the time, we got to pass on it, man.
Right, because then it's like that's the time and effort that you could be putting into finding that next deal.
Exactly.
You could have found 10 deals by then.
Right.
Instead of waiting on that one deal to come to fruition. Right. The whole time you just pissed off.
Right.
You could be happy going on and just doing what you're good at. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So when you are flipping, how are you finding contractors? And were you impacted through COVID? Because I know a lot of like people who were laborers, they didn't want to work during COVID. Did you have that problem?
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, okay, so like I say, flipping is flipping is not wholesaling. Right, we started wholesaling 2018. We just started flipping last year. So mind you, I'm flipping. That's our entry point was last year. So first time experience. Mm-hmm. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Took over 6 months.
Yeah.
Like over 6 months.
Why?
Besides COVID, it's just, thinking that the contractors that our friends know or that we know are cool or trying to, stay cheap or the low rates.
Trying to stay cheap.
Yeah, just, didn't work out. Instead of getting a licensed person to do everything, hey, we know Mike. He's a drywall. Let's call Mike. Mm-hmm. Hey, we know Sam. He's an electrician. Let's call Sam. Everything that we did, like the people we knew that did stuff, took so long, bro. Yeah. Like, it just trying to shortcut it. So,
why did they take so long?
I believe, like, a lot of times relationships too, because they feel like, oh, Antoine's cool.
Yeah.
Like, Antoine's cooler.
He's not gonna fire me. He gonna still look out for me.
That's our boy. He's fam, or he's patient. He's nice. He's understanding. And it was my first time. And of course, we project managed it ourselves. So, it was our first time really overseeing a flip and not knowing you really got to be on these people. Yeah. Like, it's really, I would hate to say babysit, but you really have to be adamant. You have to set schedules. You have to set deadlines. Because if you don't, they're going to free willy.
Yeah.
They're going to free willy, man. And like I say, with the COVID, that, and then, excuse, cars break down. I mean, every excuse you could think of, man. Tools stop working. you know.
Yeah. And then like she was saying is they have other jobs going. So they be doing like multiple jobs.
That's the main thing. I don't know how it is in California, but in Detroit, that's the main problem. A contractor, a painter will say, hey, Ty, I'm going to paint your house. They'll come to me. Hey, Antoine, I'm going to paint your house. They'll come to Jennifer. Hey, Jen, I'm going to paint your house. They'll take a deposit from all three of us. Mm-hmm. And now they're working on all three of our houses. They're trying to paint all three of our houses at one time. Yeah. Like, that's like the Detroit contractor code, man. I don't know what it is like that. But like I say, along the way, you find reliable guys. So I'm not saying, I'm not red flagging every contractor. Mm-hmm. I'm saying you learn your head, you bump your head. Like, you learn your lessons, you bump your head. So along the way, like, as of today, we have good contractors, as of today. But a year ago, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, you got to bump your heads and go through experiences and just know, like, yeah.
What was the process of going through the land bank like? I think they're more lenient now.
They are more lenient. Yeah, they're more lenient. Land bank isn't bad. And that was our first land bank home because I always was like, their houses are just too crappy. Mm-hmm. It was just, I'm not, you know.
But a lot of them are in good neighborhoods these days.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You'll find like a really, really bad house, but it's in a great place.
Yeah, yeah. See, my whole thing was when I used to see them online, I'm like, oh, that's going to take forever to rehab. And like I say, I just didn't want my first flip to be a full gut.
Yeah.
That's what I did not want.
Yeah.
And it almost ended up being that anyway.
It's kind of tough to, in my opinion, find a project that you can get for a good price, in my opinion, that isn't usually a full gut.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what is salvageable on these properties?
Yeah.
Usually you got to take all the electrical and the plumbing out.
For sure.
Maybe the drywall. I don't know.
For sure.
Like, what's salvageable in a property?
Yeah. Like the land bank houses, I believe 85% required full gut. You know, that's why I was kind of trying to stay away from it because I'm like, oh, these houses are crappy. Mm-hmm. We're better off finding a wholesale deal in better condition and starting with that. Yeah. But we end up, you know, going with the land bank. It wasn't, like I say, the land bank wasn't bad. They had, you know, the response time. They didn't even come out to inspect that. We just had to send them some pictures. It was smooth selling everything through email. They never came out one time.
What about like permits and all that stuff?
We had a permits pull, but
like a building permit.
Yeah, we had one of our contractors pull a permit just to do the work, but all we had to do was just email them a copy of that.
Right. Email
them some pictures, and they approved our certificate of compliance through pictures. You know, so it was smooth with it was smooth. Like the land bank was a breeze. It just was the workers that was really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the workers. So it wasn't, like I say, land bank. I have nothing bad to say about them. It was a cool experience. It just was the workers that on our end that we could have did a better choice of picking.
So I'm still in this Detroit thing because people are still so negative about Detroit. It's like, why would you invest in Detroit?
Yeah.
But y'all are having a field day out here, buying whatever you want.
Yeah. Yes, it's a gold mine, man. It's just, you know, what's the saying? People fear what they don't understand, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the bottom line. So if all you're going by is, you know, what you see on TV or news, or it might be some negative Instagram posts or social media posts, or all you see is overpriced houses or like, you're going to have a perception.
Yeah.
Until you really come here, like you've been coming here for a couple of years, so you kind of know, and then you're going to stay here for a month soon. But once you come, actually walk and talk to people, the real estate game is a gold mine, man. Like you could really find great deals for like, you know, 20, 30, 40 grand, man. And just like full houses that's really nice that might need 15, 20 grand worth of work. But you got to think, if you buy a house for 25 and even if it needs 20, you have a full livable house for 45 grand, bro. Yeah. And something like that, you'll never lose money on. It don't matter what if the recession dry, it don't matter what happens, you're never going to lose money on a house that you're all in for 45,000 because it's going to appraise minimum 60 grand, bro. Like that's like the minimum appraisal for a Detroit house. You're never going to get a house really appraised for less than that. That's updated.
Interesting.
Never. I mean, the market could crash right now. You're not going to lose money on that house. It's impossible. Like that's what people don't understand.
So this is a kind of a sidebar, but I'm having an issue with the contractor who owes me money, and I want to go after him. Mm-hmm. How should I go about that? Have you guys ever had to do that?
He owes you money?
Yeah. So he was supposed to do the job. He took the money for the job. Mm-hmm. He never did the job. The deadline came. He never did the job.
Okay.
And so I ended up letting him go because he effectively breached the contract by saying he was going to have it done by this day, never meeting any of the deadlines. And he owes me a lot of money because nothing was literally done for the money that I sent him. Maybe a little bit of stuff. Right. But not what I paid him.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking about getting an attorney. So I need to find a good attorney. Do you guys know of a good business attorney that I can use? What's the process? What should I do? Small claims. That's probably the best way, huh? Because then I can just follow myself instead of having to go through an attorney. I'm not good at the street stuff. Yeah. If I take it the street way, I'll lose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not worth the street way, man. But yeah, definitely with that, yeah, legal action for sure, man. And like I told you, what was that? 2018, 19 when you bought the house from me. Mm-hmm. I told him, I'm like, brother, you in Cali, this Detroit, that remote rehabbing and being in California and doing stuff in Detroit is gonna be a pain because, like I said, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but the real estate market is still a hustle, it's still a game, and a lot of contractors look for out of the country buyers or out of the country or out of the state, owners to do work for because you're not here to oversee what they're doing.
Yeah.
They could tell you anything, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's rough. You definitely have to get you a good, if you're not going to be here, a good project manager or and a great property manager. Yeah. Like you have to get those two if you're not here, man. Like you have to.
To a certain extent, I feel like people see out of state people as maybe like more privileged, and so they're like, I'm gonna tax them because you would think that we would still be able to get better deals. That used to frustrate me because you are over here getting rehabs done for like pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And I'm getting charged
double. And I told you that back then.
It's like, what did Jay-Z say?
Yeah, I told him.
He said if you playing, if something about paying Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Jeezy playing LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade.
Yeah. But I swear I told him, I remember Charles, this was a couple years ago, I told him like, man, look, you from Cali, you're not going to get Detroit prices because you're not from here. Yeah. But it's kind of similar because you could probably get stuff in Cali cheaper than me.
That's true because I know people.
You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing. Like, cause
I know the neighborhoods differently too.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm going back to Cali because it's like you guys will mention some neighborhood I never even heard of, and I'm like, man, what is the Rosedale Park? What is Fitzgerald? What does this stuff even mean? Yeah. And it actually is really important stuff. It's a big deal.
No, for sure, absolutely. Like I say, it's about connections, man, and who you know. But again,
I'm gonna get those connections by just being here.
Yeah, but I say out of state, man, remote is tough. Like, you know firsthand. It's tough, man.
It's tough. It's tough in a lot of ways. It's tough with doing the rehab. It's tough with managing tenants. Yep. It's tough with finding new tenants. It's tough. All that stuff just makes it difficult. Yeah. Tough with even just having a property manager. Even the managers make it tough. Yeah. When you're at a site out of mind, it's like I tell people it's kind of like a substitute teacher. Like when the teacher's not there, it's turn up time. Yeah. And even like adults still act that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to, what you like, my suggestion for that, you have to find for us, when we use, with the flipping, how we try to do it on our own, get our own contractors, we said, F this, I start going to people that did flipping full time. Yeah. And I try to go to people who know their field or specialists in their field. Right. You get what I'm saying? So, and just pay. Sometimes you got to pay to play or even pay for the knowledge.
Right. So you're paying them as like a consultant, paying them as a mentor. Like, what are you doing?
Like, I'll just, some of them charge me, some of them don't. Like, I know a lot of people. Some of them might be like, hey, Antoine, let's go out to lunch. I could tell you, some stuff. I could recommend some contractors. Because they have 20 successful flips under their belt. Right. So they'll sit me down and walk me through the process and the do's and don'ts, So my advice for that is just get some project managers or some property managers that's used to out of state, owners or buyers, or have a track record of dealing they might be like, okay, Charles, you're my 8th out of state client.
Right.
You know, like sometimes you got to go down that route.
That's important
Yeah.
because you don't want to be somebody's like trial run.
Exactly.
You're somebody's trial run.
Exactly.
And they get into it and they're like, man, this out of state stuff, having
Yeah,
to communicate, and having to send all these reports is kind of lame. But the person who does it, they already got systems in place. It's nothing to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we got a woman that all her clients are mostly out of state, and she's turning houses in 4 to 6 weeks for them. Yes. Yep. That's like you just.
Well, see, that's the thing that's how long a rehab should take, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's like plumbing, HVAC, all this of it. It don't take that much time.
No, it don't. It don't. No, it don't.
It takes time when you're doing 80 jobs, though.
Yeah.
And when, because one of the things that I found is if I'm casual on contractors, then they'll be very casual.
Exactly.
So I got to be on them every day. I got to be calling like, what was done yesterday? What's being done today?
Yep.
Like you really gotta like baby him, like you said.
Yeah.
Babysit the contractor.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, man. Like that's what you got project managers for. Like so, yeah, you definitely got to do that, man.
So where do you see your business going in the future? Because you guys have been doing about the same numbers, but what are you going to do to take it up if you even decide to take it up?
Right.
If you even need to take it up, you know.
I agree. See, the thing is with us, like how I say, I don't know, like 80 something deals in 2018, 100 deals 2020, last year 80 deals. Like the deals are, 80 to 100, but the money's different though. That's the thing. That's what you think,
The spread is different.
Yeah, so it could be, so that's our whole thing is, it's still, like I say, we start off with the volume, but now it's like, okay, it's still volume, but it's still like, okay, how can we stretch the money now, or how can we get bigger? So we're on to that now. But as far as just expanding, definitely trying to automate what we do somehow. Definitely looking into that, or not looking into it. We're going to figure it out,
right?
In the
100%.
next couple months, just to basically, because like I say, it's just been the two of us running the streets for 2-3 years. So it's like, okay, it's been successful, but it's like, let's try to do it from the couch now, or from the crib now.
Do you guys do the work because you enjoy the work, or do you just do it because it has to get done?
Both. Real estate is still like wholesaling is still fun to me. So when it stops being fun, then I'll probably have a change of heart. Yeah. But I still love wholesaling because I could house like, we could sell this for, I know that this, like I still get excited. Yeah. Like it's still cool to me. Like I could be on Instagram and see somebody else sold something like, oh, they just sold this. Oh, let me go sell 10 tomorrow. Like I just look, it's still fun and friendly for me. So no, it's definitely still because, we want to do it. Yeah. And it's enjoyable.
I think what's also really cool about that is you're still doing the same volume, but you're doing greater numbers, probably because you've gotten better at your craft. And so you're probably better at both buying and marketing to the end user. Right. So you know how to position it so you can get a top dollar, and you also know how to position so you can get it for less expensive.
Right.
So that's dope.
Right, yeah. Our whole, like the thing was, like I said, when we first started, it just was like, let's just do these, let's just do. But now it's like, okay, let's get the seller low as possible, but still fair.
Right.
And let's get the buyer high as possible. So, but and it works. Like we, it definitely works, man. When we put it together like that. So,
I wanted to ask you because you got the Benz. How did life change when you got the Benz?
Oh man, she got one first.
Okay.
She got one first. What you got it? CLA 250. She got one first, so I'm like, oh hell no, I gotta go. I'm like, give me 3 weeks. I'm like, give me about 3 weeks. I gotta go. Yeah. I had a 550. To me, best car ever, man.
Really?
Yeah, best car ever. I come from having Challengers, man. I had Challengers, so 550 Benz, man, best car ever.
Why? Why is it the best car ever? Is it because it's a quality vehicle?
I would say
and how people treat you when you pull up?
All that. Because, true story, one time, I pulled up at we were selling like a 4-unit. It was like a 4-unit. A seller, older guy, pulled up in the Benz, got out. He was like, you don't look like you sell car. You don't look like. I had like some jogging pants on, Timberlands, hopped out the Benz on. He was like, you don't look like you sell houses, but he was like, you don't got a suit, but I see the Benz is your suit. So when he said that,
The Benz is your suit.
so I'm like, okay, they acknowledge it a little different, but I mean, just best car. I could be biased, but I mean, the ride, the maintenance is not the best. But I mean, the price of maintenance, but you know, but it comes with the territory. But the ride, man, just the lights, everything about it. You know what I'm saying? They got a new one out though, so they got a new one. They changed. They got I think it's the 2022 or 2021 the S580. So I might have to upgrade this year, man. But no, best car, man. I love it. I love it.
The fight business. Are you in the fight business, or you just support your friend who's boxing?
So the boxing business, I'm actually not in it any type of business wise, but I'm definitely about to get in it. Yeah, I have a great friend, Tony Harrison. He's a professional boxer, former world champion, great dude, great friend. He has a gym in Detroit that does very well. So I've been knowing him a lot of years, and I have a lot of other friends that box professionally. My guy Ronnie Austin, Dominic Dalton. I have a lot of friends, Jelly I love, that box professionally. So I've been around it like with them for about 5 or 6 years, and just boxing is my favorite sport. So it's a support thing, definitely. I definitely see some, opportunities business wise, but as of right now, it's just more of a support thing. Cause it's my friends do it, I support them. They're, so it's a friend thing.
And you have the free time to just do it.
Yeah,
because you just be in Vegas randomly. Like,
yeah. You could just, they go to the fight. Like, yeah. So I love boxing, man. It's my favorite sport. So definitely probably get into it on the business side later on down the line. Yeah.
What is a common misconception that people make about Detroit?
That you're going to get robbed everywhere you go.
I definitely think I'm going to get robbed everywhere I
go. Or they think Detroit is like still in like a recession or poor. A lot of people think like it's just poor here. Like they just think it's poor. Like, oh, Detroit, or they think it's just only Jim Chrysler and Ford here. They just think it's just automotive plants there, or just a recession. Like that was like probably the biggest two, I would say. Yeah.
That's interesting because people probably still think that.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing to think of Detroit, the big three, you guys make cars. Like that's, I can't say that's a misconception, but I just think that's a misconception. Like that's all Detroit has to offer as far as value wise. They might just think it's cars,
The coolest thing about Detroit is not the coolest, but there's a lot of really cool things about Detroit that you don't really know until you come here.
Yeah.
And when I didn't know there's a big river right there. I was like, that's crazy. Like, this just really close, like this big, huge river that is all this clean water.
Yep.
And then you're right across from Canada, so you can accidentally go to Canada, which I did, and I always try to avoid. And then there's just like a lot of culture, and there's a lot of like black folks out here. Like I tell people that Detroit probably has as many black people as I think Atlanta. Like it's a black city.
No, it is.
You go downstairs and the staff is black. You go to the airport, the staff is black. You go wherever you go, it's just black folks everywhere.
Yeah.
And you go to the casino, everybody in there's black.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. We just got to get more commerce because it didn't Detroit used to have a pretty predominant black business culture, but I guess like all that the racism and the bombings and the riots kind of ruined that.
Yeah. Detroit, it had a very like strong. I mean, it still has a strong like black community, but like you say, over time, Detroit population decreased a little bit, with the black people, and quote unquote gentrification, like that came along. But overall, like you said, it's a lot of culture here. Yeah. And like I said, Detroiters, they're still here, man. We're strong, we're sticking together, and a lot of us are fighting for the city still. Like there's a lot of people are buying up the hood. Like I say, Ashley. Like shout out to Ashley. She's she 10 plus houses. Like it's a couple Ashleys out here that's buying up houses and properties.
I know. I've heard of some other ones.
Yeah, like it's a couple people that's still buying up the hood and trying to open up small businesses and revamp and keep stuff going. So yeah, definitely shout out, the Detroiters that's definitely trying to still uplift the hood and buy and keep it going, man.
So what is one last gem that you will leave the people with, if they're trying to get to where you are today?
Oh man, where I am today.
Which is cool because I saw you rise. I tell people, like, there's a lot of people that I saw 4 years ago who are where they said they will be. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And so it's cool that you're one of them. But like, what advice would you give them trying to get to that point? If they wanted to be in 4 years where you are, because we can't just get there tomorrow. We can't get there in 6 months.
I just would say, man, keep God first and just be consistent. That's really the two things. Like it's nothing that's gonna beat hard work.
Man.
Consistent hard work, man. Like it's nothing. Like as long as you keep praying and you work hard, consistent, like it's gonna come. Like I say, the money's gonna come. If you love something, if you enjoy it, you work hard at it, the money's gonna come. I just would say, like I say, consistency, and I say, learn the craft too. Like seek the knowledge, and master it, or try to master it, learn it the best you can. The money will definitely come.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's just how it is. Anybody would say that. Like the more you know, the more money you'll make.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Cool. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? And where can they support what you have going on?
We just stick with Instagram, Franklin Holdings. We go by that. It's pretty much it, man. Franklin Holdings on IG. Phone number, email is in the contact tab. Appreciate it.
Nice. I don't know what episode number this is, but there's a lot of gems. This is so cool, man, because we're in Detroit and we're talking Detroit real estate. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I just never put together the plan, but now we got the plan, and now we got some dope peeps. So make sure you reach out to them if you're looking to buy a house if it isn't already sold, and
or sell a house, or sell a house.
Yeah. If you got something that you need to sell in Detroit, or I'm not sure if he's wholesaling outside Detroit, but still, just somebody good to reach out to and follow. My name is Charles Oglesby, and we're gonna run into a quick little mini episode. So we out.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. I know you guys got value from this. Make sure that you follow up with our guests. All the information is going to be in the bottom of the show notes. Make sure that you guys leave a rating and a review. We like 5-star reviews. Wherever you're listening to this, make sure you give us a review. We got to move up in those rankings because we need more people to hear these dope stories of dope people so that we can help change lives across the country. Click the link in the bio for all of our affiliate products and links. We have some great stuff down there. We're working with Terry Gioma, Hood Estates, Charm City Buyers, Andre Hatchett, a lot of really great people that are here to help you take your life to the next level. Have a great week, and thanks for tuning in.